My name is Gbenga. Welcome to the best breakfast show on the planet. This is Breakfast Central, where we give you everything you need to start your day the right way. I'm Gbenga.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do have Olive in the house, who's spotted wearing, well, almost
national colors. I had to check the calendar to see if today was Independence Day.
Well, today is the day before Valentine's Day, and you know, a lot of people are going to be getting flowers, and the rest of us are going to be there judging their flowers and say it's even plastic. So I went green, the color of a number of plastic bottles here. Maybe that's just dry. Good morning and welcome to Breakfast Central. Thank you for joining us. We hope that for the next 2 hours, you're able to follow through some of the biggest conversations around Nigeria's politics. I am Olive Emodi, and you're very welcome. Remember that we continue our conversations on social media. Particularly, you can tweet at us at X, at News Central TV, or you can tweet at us individually. Now, let's get into our top stories, or our wake-up conversations.
Definitely. Well, our first story has got to do with a viral video that's been circulating right from yesterday. It did see a police officer being dragged by naval officers and Air Force, I beg your pardon, and he was being taken, or was being dragged right into a place he never wanted to go, like the the proverbial saying on social media says, "They
help me, exactly. They carry me to go where I don't know."
Where I don't know, and that's exactly what was happening yesterday. But if you haven't seen that video, we have that video, and then we have updates on what really was going on. Although it's a bit sketchy, but let's tell you what really happened. But first of all, feast on this, or better still, sip a tea to this one. Take a look. Well, there you have that video. It's quite a sad video for us to see and also share with you, but it's on social media. You're wondering what could have happened or what was going on there. Well, let's give you a little update on that video. Well, the update simply is that that incident happened somewhere at Air Force checkpoint along Jedo Road in Okpe, local government of Delta State. That's just behind the refinery. Now, the cause of the fight between the uniformed men, that's police officers, and of course the Air Force, is said to not be known. It's unknown. It's not ascertained yet. The Delta Police Command spokesperson SP Bright Edafe said the police have not gotten details of the incident yet. And this goes to show that we've seen this happen many times. In 2004, we recall that there were 2 dead persons as police and soldier clashed in Nasarawa. Also in 2004 as well in May. Remember the Banex Plaza in Abuja that was indeed shut down because, of course, you had a show of power between the police and not forgetting the military police, both who are security operatives. And then in 2003, in November, Adamawa police and the army clashed, and that led to a lot of incidences, also resulting to deaths. So we're seeing our, forces, security forces, Gbenga, engaging in fisticuffs like this. And it's serious. You know what struck me the most is the fact that they're using the weapons to actually fight.
I mean, things could go wrong. There's civilians around, there are passers-by, you could have accidental discharge, and then the story changes. What could be the situation that couldn't be handled in a more responsible manner? I mean, these are men in uniform, you hold them to higher standards, and to see them fight like this and scuffle in the full glare of the public is quite shameful.
It is not, I mean, it's super shameful because if you compare what we have here to how the men of the armed forces are typically treated in other countries in the West, we would see where young children look at them in admiration and say that when they grow up, they want to be a member of the police, or they want to, join the armed forces, the firemen. My friend's sons say they want to be firemen because of how much these people are looked upon with so much adoration and reverence. But this This right here is just an embarrassment.
And I believe Bright Odafe, I mean, he knew it happened in his jurisdiction. He knew the story. So it was just, he didn't have the materials to go to the press with.
And there's nothing
So I
that
guess
really, it doesn't matter what the issue is. There's nothing that should have upset them that much to lose all sense of self-control and start fighting like that in public. How
I mean, Joe, what happened to Esprit de Corps? I thought they were all one happy
Esprit de
family.
Corps.
Well, I also tried to do a bit of digging on that story as well, and spoke to a few persons who live in that area, and they said that zone is notorious, especially known for a lot of checkpoints where police officers will stop you and say how far, anything, and it's always a case of let's stop and search. You must part ways with something. They must tell you, let me have something. So some have said that it could have been the result of what we just saw. Maybe they did it to someone and so on and so on the side, and then the Air Force person said, come on, I mean, the person, why this and so on. Then, but for me, I think it's high time we look into this situation. In other countries, Senate climbs, we're not saying that the security forces they don't go at each other, but it's hard to see it happen.
Very hard.
In Nigeria, it's happened way too much. It's like every year, I can tell you this, every year. I just went through the report. In 2003, we saw this happen. In 2022, it happened. 2004 as well. If you go through it, it just happens every now and then. And the reason nobody is saying anything, guess what? It's just going to go down the drain. Everybody say, okay, it's fine, they were just fighting. What if they pulled the trigger?
Exactly.
What if?
Accidental discharge.
That's another one. Anyway,
we really need to do something about it. It's become one too many, and it's absolutely disgraceful, as I said earlier. But moving on to our neighboring country to the east. Yes, Cameroon. Happy birthday, President Paul Biya. He turns 92 and is a record-holding head of state. Is the world's oldest head of state. But that's
Guinness has he gone
Guinness
for
Book of Records. But that's not even the gist. He's 92, is fit. I mean, he's fit in quotes. And he wants to, I mean, if you're not fit, why do you want to go for re-election? That should be like his, how many terms? And now, elections are coming up in October, and President Paul Biya has indicated his interest to run for State House in Cameroon. And a lot of people find it shocking. I mean, there are other 90-year-olds plus. I mean, Donald Trump is 78, is still fit, is agile. I remember Dr. Mahathir Mohamad of Malaysia. He became prime minister for the second time when he was 90, but he was fit. And if you look at videos of Paul Biya in international fora, but he seems to be lost and disconnected from reality. Sometimes he doesn't even remember where he is. So I'm wondering what's going on in Cameroon. They have young, brilliant men and women. We even know some like Force of Nature, Kathleen. Can they run for office?
Gbenga.
I don't know why you guys are. I don't know why.
In case you're wondering who that is, that's an in-house joke. Gbenga is applauding one of our colleagues, leaders here at News Central. But I mean, I don't think it's very surprising. We see that African leaders tend to hold on to power a little too long. The most thrown around quote that we've used on this show is power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. There's a thing with feeling like power is something that should be inherited and transferred, and this mentality of it's my turn to hold on to power, it's my turn to grasp power. We see power as a thing that should be held on to against or fought for, inherited and passed over to the next generation, as you would see in some other African countries. 92. Uganda is not an exception. We've seen how Uganda has been run in the past few years and the projections of what the future might look like in Uganda. But then again, congratulations, happy birthday to Paul Biya, but we need to do better on our continent.
The people love him, Joe, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, the people,
they have to love you for you to.
You're not a Cameroonian, so you can't speak for Cameroon.
We would have to ask Kathleen.
Well, yes, I mean, if you ask them, some of them would say it's tough. Somebody who is as old as Paul Biya, President Paul Biya, should actually be relaxing, chilling somewhere in the Bahamas, after a hard work of, moving the country forward. He should rest. But if we take this to Twitter, it's going to be Twitter wars between Nigeria and Cameroon.
I'm sure the Cameroonians
Our
would
president's
agree.
not
yeah.
92 yet.
Yes, but of course, they're going to put pictures side by side. You know that conversation we usually have on Twitter, I mean, the X wars. We don't want to go there. But I think I get your point, Gbenga. It's a very, very salient point. But then again, we cannot speak for the Cameroonians. I think they would have to make their choices and possibly live with it.
Only as Gen Zs would say, President Paul Biya is giving me Tusela vibes.
He's not giving what he's meant to give at this point. Anyway, guys, can you smell it?
What do you smell?
Love is in the air. You got it,
And
Gbenga.
it depends on what part of the country
Honestly?
you're from. I mean, if you're from the southwest, they will say love is in the hair.
In the hair. Well, in this spot, and particularly in Edo State, love is in the air. And in the spirit of Valentine, reports have it that music legend official Subaba, Two-Face Idibia, Innocent Idibia, whichever you'd like to call him, has now just proposed to a leader of, in the House of Assembly, in the Edo State House of Assembly. Now, the name Natasha Osawaru will become very popular, or has become very popular, not because of the reformative work she's done in the House of Assembly, but because of certain reasons. Let's take a look at this video of Two-Face.
What's up, man? So allegedly, I've been seeing so many things, so many people coming up with their own false narratives and false talk and malicious nonsense after I posted that stuff that I posted. Yes, I posted what I posted, and any person will get breathe, they understand, But for all of the people that have been saying different stuff that do not have any absolute clue of what's going on, I hate you now, in my life, perfect guy, not too much, you understand? See, everybody's going to be alright, everybody's fine. There's no fights, there's no quarrel, there's nothing. I said what I said. All of us will be alright. And all of us are working to do bigger and better things. You understand what I'm saying? And Honorable Natasha, I see she has been dragged, she has been called all sorts of names, she has been labeled as a homebreaker, she is a young, brilliant, amazing young woman. You understand what I'm saying? And she had nothing to do with, what's happening between me and Annie in our marriage. She has absolutely nothing to do with that. But I see everybody allegedly trying to, rope her into everything. Yes, I love her. She's amazing. She's cool. I want to marry her. You understand what I'm saying? So that on one side. Then on the other side, man, yeah, and Annie, we don't fight.
Well, it would seem that wedding bells are ringing, as the latest update is that Two-Face Innocent Idibia allegedly proposed to Natasha Osawaru.
You're using his words to allegedly. Tell them what is allegedly.
Allegedly,
Catch
allegedly.
the vibe, get the feeling.
Wisdom. Well, he's calling her Ole because she stole his heart away.
Wow.
She's the new African queen.
Yes.
Now, jokes apart, all of this may sound really funny. I mean, this was a post he put up before he pulled it down. It was a post and delete. Says, now this is my world, make una help me beg him to marry me. Turns out he didn't need to do a lot of begging, as eventually he's in a show, I don't know where that was set up, was a video of him spraying her money. I'm hoping that's not Naira. And then eventually proposing to her. It was just really romantic, some would say, between the lovebirds. But Nigerians have reacted differently. A lot of people have been enraged by what's been going on, especially because of the fact that he only recently just announced his separation and impending divorce from his wife, Annie Idibia.
Ex-wife.
No, they're not yet divorced. Until they're divorced, she's his wife. Annie Idibia.
Legally speaking.
Yes, she's still his wife. And, the reason why Nigerians have been enraged by how this has been handled is he hasn't been very gracious with her. First of all, she was being trashed after appearing on a reality TV show, Young and African. And after the reality TV show, a number of Nigerians were talking about how so many things, I don't want to go into that, but she was being spoken about not in a positive light, and that was certainly not the time for Two-Face to throw her under the bus. I'm reminded of a story in the scriptures where Joseph was told that his wife, Mary, imagine somebody come to tell you I'm being impregnated, I'm pregnant by an angel, a story that doesn't make sense. And Joseph sought to put her away quietly, a testament to his character. He had every right to be upset, but he didn't trash her in the public. Imagine that was happening today. So I guess that's the sentiment that a lot of Nigerians are sharing, that he hasn't been very kind and gracious to her.
The timing too.
The timing wasn't great, and it's unfortunate that Natasha Osawaru will now not be remembered for the amazing work she may or may not have done in the House, especially as we talk about the underrepresentation of women in politics and the fact that we don't have enough women sitting at these tables. She'll be remembered now as the other woman.
Now, what I hope she does, so Two-Face, marriage is supposed to improve you, is meant to make you a better person, but she's the deputy majority leader in the Edo State House of Assembly. I wish she was the chief whip so she can whip some sense into Two-Face Idibia and it will become an overall better person.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just my message.
Shots fired.
Well, the truth is, guys, whether we like it or not, everyone seems to have an opinion, and like many have said, it's a court of public opinion, and that's what social media has become. But I think it's also a case of allowing people to do what they want to do. Let's bear in mind that nobody, myself, Olive, Gbenga, even you watching us, nobody has 100% information of what the story really is.
True.
So what we see is plain circulation. And in that video, that's why Two-Face said, allegedly. People are alleging. And people don't know the story. And I think it's also a call to some of the rumor mongers, as it were, because you might wonder, why are we talking about this? Because, of course, we do have someone who is representing Edo State, who is in Edo State, rather, and she's actually being called out because it's one thing to actually represent your state in one way or the other in the public eyes, and then you're also delving into it. So if you go to entertainment, you will see her. You go to the general news, you would see her. So everybody's asking, what is she doing? Is she not rubbing, in quotes, mud on her name? But then again, listen, people would have to do what they have to do. They have to live their lives. And I think the problem I have with this story is the fact that everyone seems to be a professional explaining what is too.
I mean, if you put your business,
exactly, you put your business out there, people are going to have opinions.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I mean, this is not Kim Kardashian, who has a reality series. They don't have a reality series.
No, Joe. So he came out to do videos explaining to the public. So he owed nobody that explanation. So if he has invited the public into his private life, I agree. Actions do have consequences. True. He must be able to live with the consequences.
I agree. But then again, it's for me, it's a case of people now sitting down, putting on the ring light. I mean, you know,
to be honest,
it's fair game. It's what happens around the world. Anyway, I just want to say Two-Face is romantic because it was at the Edo State House of Assembly the other day. It was in the okay, but
look at them blushing. No, this is quite a long video. If we're going to take it, we're not going to be able to take our top stories. Okay. But just to explain what you would see, there's a bit of hugging at some point. He sprays her some bills. I don't know what currency because it's not clear enough in the video. They hug. He sort of sings for her. People are in the background shouting, "Aww!" Association of say yes. And in the spirit of Valentine, we're probably going to see people saying, "God, when?" You know, and having the God when gang tapping. Oh.
Olive, I don't see you saying "oh."
No.
You are not awing the focus.
No, I'm not awing them.
Oh. Let me help you. Oh.
Isn't it amazing how it would seem that when Yul Edochie had his own scenario, you know, the reactions were
different.
I don't know if I would say different. It just seems like, because Two-Face was nobody just imagined that it would be Two-Face. Of course, they knew that he never had the perfect marriage because their marriage was always in the public eye, but people just didn't think it was going to turn out this way.
Anyway, don't forget, guys, that she's the Deputy Majority Leader of Edo State House of Assembly, and she's been in the public eye for so much, I'd say for so long, especially of recent. A
brief background, she was born in November 1993. She's the daughter of Desmond Osawaru and Philomena Osawaru, and the granddaughter of Chief Gabriel Osawaru Igbenedion, a prominent businessman and philanthropist.
Okay.
So yes, from a very...
Anyway, in all of this, I just want to drop my final few points. I think as time goes by, it will become clearer, especially with the stories, and that has got to do with Annie DB as well will become clearer. But I also think we might just run through the story, but we'll wait until they decide to give us a full detail of what the situation truly is. But for
And
now,
just to say that, you know, at the end of the day, we know that no marriage is perfect, and people sometimes show the parts of you that they want to see. Obviously, it's been a turbulent time for Annie, Idibia, and in this case, Two-Face. We don't know, again, the full picture, but we just hope that we wish them the best in the future. It might be a painful one, but there is healing at the other side. Right now, Annie seems to be the one who's been burnt from the information that we have, but we hope that she's able to find healing, and that, you know, we wish everyone the best.
We wish everyone the best. I mean, tariffs are going up. If you put your business out there, they'll talk about it. We'll move on.
That's right.